Now to Capitol Hill for a look at President-elect Donald Trump's picks to lead the nation's top posts. Right now, the man up for the role of Defense Secretary, Pete Hegseth, looks to court lawmakers in another round of meetings this week. And just moments ago, our cameras got a live look into one of those meetings. He did not take any questions from reporters at that point. Let's go live to Associated Press Chief White House correspondent Zeke Miller. Zeke, thanks so much for being with us. Hegseth will also meet with Senator Lisa Murkowski and Senator Susan Collins today. What can we expect to come out of those meetings this week?
Those are some of his most closely watched engagements. They are probably two of his most unlikely Republican senators to vote for him. They're the most moderate Republican senators and who have publicly expressed some reservations about some of the allegations against Hegseth and his preparation for the role, and also have worked extensively on boosting women in the military, something that Hegseth has had a bit of a checkered record in his public comments on. He's now trying to walk some of that back, but of women serving in frontline combat roles, they have worked towards that. So those meetings will be very closely watched, both by the press, by the Trump team down in Florida, as they watch to see how that nomination will go. Republicans have a three-seat majority in the Senate when they take over on January 3rd. So those two are not necessarily decisive, but it does speak to the margin of error that they will have as this confirmation process continues.
Yeah, speaking of women in the military, Zeke, a key Republican senator, Joni Ernst, herself a Army veteran, signaled Monday that she would not oppose Hegseth's bid for defense secretary. She said in a statement that she supports him through the entire process. And he also told our correspondent that their conversation was, quote, amazing. Is this a sign that the tide is changing in favor for Hegseth?
Certainly compared to where we were this time last week, the tide has undeniably changed, and he certainly has some momentum at his back. A lot of that is due to the public and private pressure put by President-elect Donald Trump and his team, and his legion of supporters on those wavering members of the Republican Senate, particularly on Senator Ernst, but others as well, as they try to sort of shore up support for that nomination and make clear that they were viewing it as sort of a litmus test on their support for the incoming administration. That's how closely they were looking at it. That sign of support from President-elect Trump last week that resonated in the halls of Congress. That's not a guarantee that this confirmation is set, but certainly it's a lot firmer ground than it was a week ago.
All right, Associated Press Chief White House correspondent Zeke Miller. Thanks so much, Zeke.